Hey guys, Kid here of Burn One with another Weiss Schwarz Meta Talk. Of course, joined with Dean and Nico as always. If you guys want to say hi.
Hello.
All right, and then we have special guest Cameron Becker on, the actual was it Texas singles winner. I don't even know. My brain's too broken right now.
The best player in
Best
Texas.
player in Texas, NA confirmed.
Hey guys, it's Cameron here. I won the Houston Regional a few months ago.
Yep, he got so lucky that Nico and I's flight got canceled.
Yeah, that feels really bad.
I was looking forward to hang out when though. That would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, we invited him on so he can talk a little bit about his run at Texas, and then after that, we're going to talk about since the deck he took for Texas. A little spoilers, I guess, was ReZero. We're going to talk about ReZero and going into Worlds, and then after that, we'll probably talk a little bit about the new set that came out in Japanese and maybe how that could affect English once it releases. So yeah, I guess Cameron, you want to just kind of hop into your matches a little bit, and then you can kind of go into more detail for like top eight.
Yeah, I remember all my rounds for Houston pretty vividly. So round one, I played against Persona 5, won that one pretty handily. Round two, I played against Contact Collection. Actually ended up being a really close match, but barely won that game. Round three was actually my only loss of the whole day to Batman Ninja of all things. Whenever you don't cancel a seven and like whenever you don't cancel 7 damage when you're 2 and 10, feels bad, man.
Oh my god.
And then round four played against GGO, won that game. Round five played against 8 Standby, no game, no life, won that game as well. Round six won against OG Love Live, and then round seven played against another GGO deck. So that was the lead up going into top eight. For top eight, I actually had to play against Phil from Chicago playing Love Live Sunshine, which was probably the one person I didn't want to play. And it sucked, especially considering I didn't get my level 1 Amelia combo since I was missing the climax. But Phil got pretty unlucky at level 2 because the way damage took, he got stuck at 1-6. So then he couldn't do his double early play, and that kind of crippled him. So then I was able to take that game. Then top 4, played against my friend Sergio from Dallas playing Bang Dream. If you guys haven't seen his list on the website, it's pretty spicy since he's playing 2 empty 2 souls, which he actually played twice against me. But it ended up working out since I was able to cancel 2 out of those 3 attacks whenever he played the 2 souls down. So like, I guess we're a good player. Got him. And then the finals of all things, I have to play against my friend Riaz, former world champion, of course, playing AOT. And like, I was behind the whole time against him. And you can ask anyone else in the Houston Weiss Schwarz community. Whenever he's playing Attack on Titan and I'm playing ReZero, I am definitely not favored to win at all. But like, it just happened to be a really, really crazy finish. I don't know. Do we want to go into like
Yeah,
how
go ahead, because I remember it being
So-
really crazy too.
So just for context, Riaz is at 3-2 with 9 cards in deck. He has 2 climaxes. And after he gets done attacking me, I am at 3-6 with 6 cards in deck after I draw, and I have 3 stock, and it's just like, oh no, this is my last turn, and it's just going to be like the final push that I can go in for, right? So then I decide to play the Trial Deck Rim to draw 2, discard 1, just to originally find a climax and just play it to get some more soul damage outputs. And then I reassess everything again. I see I have 1 extra stock. I draw, and then the climax I drew was the stock soul, and I have the felt stock. I have the 2-1 felt in my hand. So then it's like, oh boy, we're actually going to make the comeback finally. So then we play the 2-1 down, free refresh, some of the felt, and then search for a level 0 felt runner, just have another attacker. And then we go to attack order. Attack with the level 0 felt first for 2. He cancels on 2. Attack with the 3-2 felt. Search my deck for a character put to stock. Pay 2 to put the cancel burn on the Trial Deck Rim. Swings for 2, and then he goes to 3-4. And then attack with the TD Rim. Do the effect, pay 1, discard 1. At this point, I have no hand, no stock. Like, it's my final push. Mill 5. I mill exactly 2 climaxes to burn for 2. So like the perfect damage that you need. Get him to 3-6, and then trigger for 3. And then he cancels on 3 on the last card of his deck, which is insane considering that he either dies to the refresh penalty, which was what's going to happen, or he would die to the cancel burn on the rim. Like, it was the most insane final turn I think I've ever had.
Dang, that's one way to win an event. Holy crap.
I had to put my hands up on my face for that, like, later, because, like, it, for something like that to happen in a finals, right? And I guess the other thing I should mention too is that Reyes kind of let this happen because he was supposed to heal with the Mikasa earlier in his last turn. He declared heal, and then he forgot to heal. So then like that's kind of what happened at that point, which was kind of tragic for him, but he was a good sport about it as he usually is.
That's unfortunate. I don't remember that part, but
Yeah, so
Dang,
the
yeah.
so the play was that he wasn't going to try to go for the Mikasa finishing combo that turn just because I think he was missing the split 2K1 for it. So then he clocks a Mikasa healer, plays another one with the intention of healing it, and then playing the 2-1 Mikasa changer to summon the one that he just healed off to waiting room. But because he forgot to heal, he wasn't able to do any of that. So in a turn that he should have healed twice, he healed 0. So he would have been at 3-0 actually if he had actually like gone through with the play that he had in mind, but he just blanked for a second. And thank goodness for me, healing is optional. So like, if he would have, if he would have like mentioned it later on in the turn, like, oh, I forgot to heal, like, you know, he had the intention, he just like didn't follow through with his actions. So like, kind of unfortunate, but just crazy how things ended up, honestly.
Yeah, that's really crazy. That sucks. Holy crap. But yeah, well, too bad for him. And I guess now we're gonna be hanging out in Japan together.
I mean, Rhea's more than likely will be going to
Yeah.
Japan again anyway, because
I think
like,
I think he said already he was gonna go either way, right?
yeah, because he got second last year. He paid for his flight there, and he's gonna give it another shot because he's gonna be at Care Expo this upcoming weekend. So, guys, be on the lookout for your boy. His body's made out of cards.
Yeah, he has a good shot of probably winning Car Expo.
But yeah, there's
mean,
gonna be a
yeah.
lot of people from the Discord community in particular at Care Expo, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how Care Expo shapes up. I'm gonna be there since I already have my invite. I'm just going for fun. Oh, and I guess the other thing I should mention too is that I had a buy card that I could have used for Houston, but considering we only had 6 rounds announced at the beginning, I figured I'd save it, and then we ended up winning. Now I have this buy card that's just kind of sitting there, so it's like, all right,
Kid
Care
knows
Expo,
that stuff.
Care Expo should for sure be 7 rounds. I'll use it there, and I'll be able to finally debut my Max Rarity Cinderella Girls deck. Let's go.
Ooh.
Good shit. Yeah. Car Expo should be 7 rounds easy because usually they hit like 200 players like pretty easy.
We just have to hope that they don't cap it like they did last year.
Yeah,
That's
last
pretty
year was like pretty crappy. Like Dean and I flew out there, and then we were like, "Oh no, are we actually gonna not get into the tournament?" Luckily, we like barely squeezed in right before they started cutting it off.
Yeah, I don't know the guy's name, but there's a local California player that I was talking to after the like Swiss rounds were over that like didn't get into the tournament, and he had a buy card that he couldn't use anymore because like there are no more tournaments after Care Expo last year. So it was like feels bad to be that guy, you know?
Oh, yeah, that really sucks. All right, yeah. So yeah, congratulations and everything. It's gonna be a lot of fun chilling with you in Japan and Riyadh as well. But yeah, I guess let's kind of talk about Worlds and like maybe a little bit about how you think ReZero is positioned for Worlds, since we have all the sets out now basically for Worlds. Because Heaven Feels hasn't Feel released this week or next week?
It's next week. It's next week.
Next week? Oh, okay, yeah. So that comes out next week, and that'll be the last set before Worlds, and then yeah.
Goblin Slayer comes out immediately after Worlds. Thank
Yeah.
God. I don't want to have to deal with that at Worlds.
Oh, I know. Oh, if Goblin Slayer was out for Worlds, I would be on it easy, like not even thinking. Like it would just be the deck I'd be playing.
I would have had to buy it.
Yeah. Oh man.
I would have. Don't worry, because I'm buying it again anyway.
Yep, I can believe that. Holy moly.
Yeah. So but yeah, what are your thoughts, kind of going into Worlds about ReZero? I'm not even sure. I don't know if you want to reveal this or anything, but are you going to be on ReZero there, or you have like a pocket pick you've been saving for Worlds?
So there is a set I have recently bought, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to be testing it super extensively before Worlds, because at least whenever it comes to my experience in Weiss, I usually try to stick with one deck and become super comfortable with it to know the ins and outs of the deck and its matchups against whatever is meta at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, I would say that I would be playing ReZero. I don't know if it'll be the exact same list that I played in Houston, but I would say for now, that's probably what I'm going with.
All right, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, considering that you're saying that you might not play the same list, do you think the same? So you play yellow, blue, like kind of the standard yellow blue list, right? With just like added clean cuts or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, like I mean, I think I'd still be on like that version of Yellow Blue with the Amelia book and the Felt Stock Soul. It's just like making some slight changes to like certain cards in the deck since I know a lot of people had commented on the fact that I didn't run 3/3 Reinhardt in my list, which I always say that that card's like my 51st or 52nd card in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a consideration for my Worlds list since it just might depend on what other players that I know that are going to Worlds might be bringing to see if Reinhardt will put in more work against like what I expect to see. But I didn't run it for Houston just because like a lot of times whenever I played it leading up to the regionals, I don't really know how to use Reinhardt super effectively if I can be completely honest, right? And then whenever it comes to outlasting near the end of the game, I just rather prefer using Felt to compress my deck. And then in turn, since I generated that stock, I'll use the rest counter if possible to deny my opponent's finishing turn. That's just how I prefer to play ReZero. But obviously, Reinhardt is a really, really powerful pick depending on the matchups that you have. So it just really depends. And did we want to talk about some of the other lists that have topped this regional season so far?
What?
Only if you want to stroke my ego.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, Dean. You're gonna get your shout out, man. Don't worry.
I mean, yeah, we can a little bit. But yeah, I understand the total. I totally understand the whole Reinhardt thing because Reinhardt's one of those cards that's like, it's like a dead card forever, and then like
You have to
randomly, yeah.
You have to be like low 3, and your opponent be like going into 3, and you have to like have recognized that and decided to somehow crash your board, and your opponent let you crash your board, and then magically Reinhardt is live, and you wasted 3 stock. It's a lot to get out, and it's very situational. I mean, like if you play the shot combo package, it's like you can do Reinhardt, but then like you're playing the shot combo.
Yeah, I had a friend that was testing out the Felt Shot combo. I really didn't like that version of it personally, but I know the other thing that I liked about not running Reinhardt was not having to worry about get experience because, like, obviously that's the big thing with Reinhardt is that you have to shove a bunch of really good cards into your experience if you want to make them live. So, like, ideally you'd want to have, like, a 3/2 Rim or a 3/2 Felt be your experience by, like, level 2, right? And then make Reinhardt live. But then if you're not running Reinhardt like I did, then you could just shove level 0s in there and then like still have your powerful cards like, you know, floating around either in your deck or your waiting room in order for you to have access to it for the rest of the game. So I think that's kind of like one thing that might be underlooked if you're not playing Reinhardt is that like you'll get to have your power cards like a lot more often as a result of that.
Yeah, and then it also lets you trigger more soul damage. See, soul damage pushes for game guys. Confirmed.
You can ask one of my friends. You can ask one of my friends from Houston whenever we were playing in like shop challenge and stuff like that. The Felt Stock Soul comes in clutch on triggers sometimes.
I really wish I could get soul triggers. I would have gotten second had I got, or second or first had I got.
You would have got first. I would have lost to you. I know for a fact.
It's like I remember another shop challenge where I was playing against one of the Dallas players that was also on ReZero, but he's on the Amelia Book and Ram Gate like build, and like he was ahead like a lot of the game because I was having like an unfavorable game, right? But the thing that worked out for me was like 2 separate times that game I triggered a Stock Soul for 5 damage and he just ate it. Like
Jesus.
like actually insane.
Oh yeah, but kind of getting back on topic, I guess. So what do you guys think about ReZero heading into Worlds then? I guess not Nico. Dean, if you want to, what do you think about it right now? And then we'll get Cameron's.
My build at least, and like most builds, it's like either mine is advantage, like has an advantage against most builds. Trend even with AOT, which is important because we see AOT has the most tops of anything. The biggest problem is I don't think a single build is well equipped to handle Bunny Girl if Bunny Girl is like
has that high rep.
If it's at high rep and they like poop out the bodyguard, I think like every build of ReZero loses, which is very sad. But other than that, I think like ReZero like trends well against every other deck that isn't that. I don't think it has like a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see how many players consider Bunny Girl, since I think right now the only top that we've seen is like there's a European event where a guy got second, I think. Granted, like, the set hasn't been out very long for people to mess around with it, but I don't know. I guess it'll just have to depend on like gauging the people that are going to Worlds and
I guess
seeing if Bunny Girl will be like. I mean, I expect to see a good amount of Bunny Girl, but it just depends on it just kind of depends on what you expect to see, right?
I guess
Like,
the other important thing to mention is that like Heaven's Feel will come out, and
oh, yeah, that's right.
the same problem you have with Bunny Girl is you just can't do like anything against the Medusa. But like they don't have the horrendous heal events, so I think it will be like you can probably kill them. Unlike currently in Japanese where they just heal 7 and you go, wow, that was pretty cool. So I think it's going to be a little bit easier to close games, but you still have to like wait a turn from after the Medusa. And if they like loop the Medusa, I think you're going to struggle.
Yeah, the Medusa is really
yeah,
powerful.
if you loop it, yeah, it's pretty bad.
But the big thing though, like them losing the 3-3 event and like either playing like other healers or some other tech cards, is that they lose out on making it. Yeah. So the biggest thing that really sucks playing against that deck is that decks that kind of favor 2-turn kills at level 3 just lose to it, because they anytime you like hit them to like 3-5 or 3-4, they're just like, let me heal like 5 or 4 this next turn, and then now I have a Medusa and you can't front attack this Medusa, you're forced to side. So it just makes it so like their level 3 game is so prolonged, they slowly choke you out to death, because you just can't finish them in one move. You usually have to fight fate by hitting them from 3-0 to death, like most of the time.
It's like I would imagine most decks what they would have to try to do is play their level 3s out, play a climax, and then like you just have to like get triggers off of your sides. Like I imagine that's like if I'm playing the same list I'm playing right now, that's pretty much the only thing I would have to hope for is getting like sides for 1 or like getting like burns off of the trial deck rim. Like that's the only thing I would foresee my list doing. You wouldn't have that problem if you're like playing Sunshine and you're being dank and playing the 2-soul Ruby combo. Like you could just side and you just don't care.
Yeah, and other sets have on-play bounce characters like Revue Starlight,
Card Captor
Sakura. Yeah. So like they can remove that effect and have
Card Captor Sakura definitely isn't going to be a pick for Worlds, I think.
Did you just say that there's going to be one Card Captor Sakura deck at Worlds?
Oh man, I'm gonna play.
Oh no!
Please no, Dean.
I'm so tempted to.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then I'm not even sure what build for ReZero would be best for Worlds. I feel like Reinhardt kind of like might help in some of those awkward matchups, but at the same time, like
really nice against Ryder, right? Because like if you look at Fate. You get to level 3 first, and then like you find, because like Fate doesn't have sack counters or anything, you just like crash like the ultimate shitters in, and then you stare at them and you go, wow, there's this Reinhardt. You gonna Medusa?
Well, they're forced to front attack the 20k Reinhardt and just lose. Like, yeah.
I think the only thing I'd care to mention is that out of all the ReZero lists that have top so far, I am the only one that has gotten first. So I feel like blue yellow might be the way.
Yeah, blue yellow is just like really solid. Like, yeah, I think the only issue is like my troubles, at least with English ReZero, with is the tap counter. How like the one matchup I like want to try to be favorable is AOT, which is like hard. You usually have to just go 50-50 with AOT, but like not being able to use the tap counter like sucks sometimes in that matchup.
That's why you just field your cost 0 bombs.
Trust me, I know. With the amount of times that I've played against Rias in shop challenges here in Texas, and then even earlier in Springfest where I had to go against Tom playing Attack on Titan as well, it's like the second that they get that 3-2 Armament Assist on board, they just attack with their non-hexproof first, and then tap counter is useless. That's kind of why whenever I was playing against Rias in the finals, I made the decision that I think at some point I'd hit a brainstorm off of the Ram brainstorm, and I prioritized getting the Amelia anti-change counter, because in the case of that game, it ended up forcing a trade, so it gave me an open lane. And then more ideally, if he was trying to go for the Mikasa finishing turn, then I could just use it to remove a character from my board so I don't take the on reverse burn one from the Mikasa. So like it's just kind of things that you have to gauge on the player. Like I've definitely gotten bad AOT players with the tap counter, but I mean, going to Worlds, you can't expect that. Like most of the people that are going to be on AOT are going to be really, really solid with that deck. So like, that's kind of. I mean, I definitely agree with that sentiment since I've experienced myself. Like that's something I've had to adjust whenever I'm playing against Attack on Titan. It's definitely not easy.
Yeah, it gets like kind of awkward sometimes. Wait, so we have Betelgeuse topped, Yellow Blue topped, and then did anyone this season? I know Emilia got fourth place. Emilia Nixel got fourth place at.
It's pretty
Atlanta.
much like every version of ReZero that you could imagine has topped almost because like as you've mentioned, I got in first.
Betty has
topped.
topped.
Li Shin got normal red blue.
He got third place in Chicago.
There's a build with Betty topped in somewhere in Europe, I think. That was like I don't remember what the exact build was, but it was
he also got
Betty.
there too. Yeah, it was Betty as a top end with I think 2 check top 3 Rams just to like dick for climaxes.
The true struggle of that deck.
Which I was gonna say if anyone knows that struggle too well, it's definitely Dean. Shout out to Beatrice Waifu, man.
Oh god.
But yeah, that's the cool thing with ReZero, at least like this season so far, is that you've had like a lot of different versions of the deck do fairly well, especially considering that I mean gotten first, and then you have 4 other builds that have all respectively gotten third. So
This shell's so good.
It just shows you that like the deck itself is really flexible, and it just depends on like what kind of path you want to take it in, depending on what kind of meta you expect in your like local community. I mean, I know Texas fairly well, so like Yellow Blue for me just made the most sense. And I guess to be fair, I haven't really tested any of the other builds that well just because I didn't really have that much reason to believe in it, since I really feel like the combination of the 2-1 felt and the 3-2 felt, and then that synergy that has with the tap counter and then some of the other finishes that you run at the top end, that's why the most unique things that I feel like ReZero has going for it in English is just being able to snowball whenever you get to level 2 by like doing the free refresh, playing a rim, and then just like trying to play a slow grindy game. Like I feel like ReZero does that really, really well.
Can I attack this?
Go ahead.
Slightly. So, do you not feel when you play that build that like, because like even when I put down a rem, I only play 4 rems. I don't play any other early plays. Do you not feel that you're side attacking a unjust amount of time? Like you double early play, and then it's like they anti-change counter, and then suddenly you're in a really bad spot. And like English players, okay, so yellow blue for a tournament like what you went to, where you can expect, you said it's 6 rounds, and Texas probably has like 10 to 20 threats in the room. Yeah, so you can expect to not see a good player for the first 4 rounds to 5 rounds, and not even have to care about anti-change counters. And AOT doesn't present an anti-change counter either. But when sets start presenting anti-change counters, do you not feel like the yellow-blue list has trouble?
Well, yeah. If your early play setup gets answered in some regard, then like it does get pretty rough. Like I would imagine the mirror match is probably also really atrocious in the fact that you go for your double early play, and if the other players sculpted their hand well enough, they'll be able to Amelia anti-change 1. And then just like bomb deck bomb with the rim anti-change bomb. So then they just effectively answer both your cards. I know personally I'm able to do that a lot against like GGO, for example, whenever they do their Fuka Lin double early play, right? And then some other decks that will like double early, triple early play. So I know what you mean in that. I think it was only like 1 or 2 times in Houston that I got anti-change. I think once was against Contact Collection, which... shout out to that guy. He like held that card for like so long. Like I didn't even know it was in his deck until he used it against me, right?
Wait, is that the counter that clocks yourself when you use it?
He used.
Oh my goodness!
He had that card in his hand for like the whole game, and then he like played it whenever I was like 2-5, 2-6, and it was just like, oh no, what do I do about this? Like that round was actually pretty close. Like shout out to that Dallas player. He's really, really solid. But I guess in this case, like with my run in Houston, it just worked out where some of the matchups I had, like I just didn't really have to worry about anti-change counters, especially like the ones where you have to discard 2 cards from your hand. Like certain decks that have that anti-change in particular, if they have to go for the anti-change in a turn, it's just really, really crippling on your hand. Like I think the only deck that can feasibly get away with playing that is Konosuba because of the Union back row. Like that's really the only deck that could see stomaching that kind of anti-change cost.
I was forced to like I don't even do the double early play, and I was forced to side I think 3 or 4 different people because I played against like a GGO and he presented anti-change. I like and then like at times they have the bomb, right? And it's like when they have the bomb, well, yours is a free fresh, right? Like the felt's a free fresh, like you're doing that anyway. But like sometimes it's like, do you commit the rem heavily to the board with the support and everything when you know they're just going to bomb it?
It really depends because I know for me, ideally the hand that you want going to level 2 is going to ideally be 4 cards. You want the Stock Soul, the Felt Free Refresh, the 3/2 Rim, and then the Amelia assist to level 3s. Like if you have that, that's like probably more than you can ask for with like the selection that ReZero has sometimes with the Amelia combo. And then like the only real selection you'd have would be with like the Ram Brainstorm or the Rim and Ram Bomb that you could just sack it, ditch a card to get anything you want from your waiting room. But I mean, there's just some times where like, you know, you'll do the Felt Free Refresh combo and then you won't have Rim in your hand, or vice versa. Like you'll just barely miss out on doing the Felt Free Refresh combo, but then you're able to play Rim. So like it just kind of depends on how the flow of the match goes and like how far in you go with like early playing, which I guess it really depends. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Dean does like bring up that point. Like, it's really annoying when, I guess, like basically, kind of like you said too. You got to like see like what kind of value you're gonna get out of it. But it does like hurt sometimes when you know you're gonna hit like a lot of good players at the end that are gonna present like the counter or the bombs and stuff like that. And you got to make like some really awkward decisions at level 2. But you know, maybe everyone just shuts up with AOT and then you don't have to think.
I guess that's what I'm saying. It just depends on what decks people are playing, and especially with like our Discord community, there's a lot of people that just don't like anti-change bombs, right? Mm-hmm. So if they're going down that mentality of, oh, I don't want to play bombs because the bombs aren't good, then like that'll definitely help me as a ReZero player, because then I'll really only have to worry about anti-change counters, which will be a lot easier to play around if like my opponent's board isn't set up to like force me to have to like front their characters or whatever. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah. All right. So I guess let's just jump into the last topic here, which is Memory Snow, which recently came out in JP. Like, have you had a chance to play with it at all, Cameron?
I don't know if anyone here in Houston has actually gotten to open yet. I know Heart of the Cards had some issues with getting stuff shipped out, right? Like, so it might be a case where my locals has gotten Memory Snow already. I just don't know about it. Like, I mean, I just recently looked over the cards in the set just to kind of get a refresher on what some of the reveals were. And, like, I kind of feel like it's the same kind of case with the Gochiusa Dear My Sister set and the Sword Art Online Alicization set, where they really focused on trying to make, like, a standalone deck based off of a new trait that's, like, not amazing, but like it's pretty solid, right?
No, it's like, so horrendous.
Because like
it's so horrendously strong.
I mean, I know Dean's already got. I'm sure you've already like tested like quite a bit with it, because I know ReZero is one of your
Rem level 3 finisher, my dude.
It's so.
Oh yeah, that was a card I was gonna mention. I know a lot of people on Discord have been talking about that card, and
yeah. So like that card is like really really good. But kind of like what Dean and Nico kind of pounded into my head a lot is the Mayo Man is actually really, really good.
Well, yeah, it's like any way that you can get into your level 1 combo or the climax for your combo, especially with a card like that digs so deep for like either of those.
I haven't even played with the Mayo Man yet. I have been playing with like Stock Soul and like Subaru on reverse Shimakaze. Like everything that deck has is disgustingly strong, and it has so much anti-meta tech, which is what English needed. English needs something like Abyssals, where you can look at your opponent and be like, "Do you know what my deck does?" And when they say no, you instantly win.
Yeah, that's I guess the other thing I was going to mention too is that I think that's going to be something interesting that English is going to have to mess around with because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's any other sets in English that have anti-burn right now, correct?
No anti-burn, but there's like not enough hate in English. All of the hate is in Contai, which isn't that good of a set.
Guys, there is anti-burn in English.
Log
Horizon.
Oh, GGO also. I know
GGO's not consistent though.
Look, it is when your opponent feels three of them against you because some guy did that against me.
No one plays Log Horizon except for my friend Vincent. There's your shout out, man. There you go.
I actually had a guy put 2 in the back row and 1 in the front row, and I was like, "Wow, this guy's milling me. This is a mill deck."
Oh my God. What happened?
Dude, please understand. I see the best players.
Oh my God, that sounds too wild.
Yeah, the GGO card can be pretty clutch, but then sometimes it just doesn't do anything. Like at least with the Log Horizon one, it's just like you just slap Shiroi on board and you're like, come at me. Problem is like the rest of Log Horizon doesn't do anything.
I've lost to it. Don't you dare say that.
I felt really bad because I actually had to play against a fairly new player in Chicago playing Log Horizon, and like that player just like could not keep up hand, and I think I won at like level 2 because like Log Horizon just has no answers to early plays. Like, but yeah, I guess that is true. There is a Log Horizon. That is a set I forgot about, but it'll be interesting to see English get exposed to a set like this because like I know the first thing that came to mind whenever I saw that rim was Kimono Friends. Shout out to Dean. Granted, like I don't like. How do you feel about that rim compared to Kaban? Like obviously Kaban has to be much stronger, right?
Okay, so I have played probably about 20 games with Memory Snow now, and that rem is like you park it in the back row for your tap 2 brainstorm that tells random people they can't play the game.
Oh yeah,
and then like you get to level 2 or you get to a bad deck state and you just go, I think it's time to use this card. And then you just like get a free 3-card mill and you get like something the deck's so broken. I swear to God, every time I use that card, I got something good. Actually, no, there was one time I hit 2 climaxes and just like a really bad card. So I've actually no, there's one time I hit 3 climaxes with it.
Well, I guess in that case, like I guess that's the interesting thing with that one is that like it can be matchup dependent on like how soon you want to get into memory. Whereas like Kono Friends is literally just like, all right, we play 4 of this card. We're gonna play it turn 1. We're gonna get our plus, and then it's just gonna sit in memory the rest of the game.
Yeah. I mean, because like Kimono Friends, it's like you see Kaban in the late game, and Kaban's a dead card, right? This is always a mill 3. It's like a mill 3 on a removable body, which your brainstorms tap 2. So like you can like tap the one, you can use it as one of the taps, and then like play down another card and like tap that and something else. Because you have a lot of cards that remove themselves from the board, and so like your tap 2 brainstorm is actually really good. Like I think once you get your hands on the set, you'll understand. It's pretty nuts what you can do.
That synergy is always really nice whenever you can mitigate the cost of a rest 2 brainstorm. Because like I know a lot of sets nowadays just don't like they're never gonna play those cards just because.
I think rest 2 is better for the set.
Well, I mean, for that one, like, since you have the rim, like, it just basically makes your rest 2 brainstorm a rest 1. And it just turns out that brainstorm is anti-standby, too. It's just, like, it just makes sense. I mean, yeah, I guess in this case, like, because I know for me, I never really had an interest in playing ReZero and JP. I just had a lot of people in Houston that played it. That's kind of another reason that I had an interest in picking up in English, just based on my experience playing against some of the other Houston players that have played it and seeing what ReZero can do in JP, and then basically taking that and transferring it over to English. Like I already know one of my friends is gonna be going in pretty hard on memory, so because like this man is super committed. He has like ReZero built in both Japanese and English, and he really, really loves Amelia. That's all I have to say.
Oh man, another.
Hey,
Amelia
we have
lover.
somebody like that
Yeah.
here.
Our boy David. I think he almost has everything max rarity now, like the whole.
He
entire
does, yeah.
set.
He's like getting
Yeah.
like full foil play sets.
Yeah, I know I have some
I think I
foils
might-
from him still that I need to give him.
Yeah, if you guys are ever bored, like go look up on Heart of the Cards the Houston WGP from 2 years ago, where my friend Andrew got like top 4 with like basically an Amelia waifu deck. Like it was insane. Bad I was. Well, no, this was set 2. It was with set 2. It was 8 book.
Man, I hate that deck. I hate 8 book, but it's actually kind of okay. I'll give it that.
I don't know. Like I look at those lists, like especially the ones that float around on Discord, and I'm just like, I don't think this is definitely like not one of my first options that I would go to. Like I even think that I would pick like Book Gate with the Ram top end over that, even though I've been on the board of saying that I don't like the 3/2 Ram as a finisher. Like I'd rather just play that over the Amelia, but I don't know. I guess it just comes down to preference.
Yeah. But so yeah, if Memory Snow hits like early next year or whatever, do you guys think like you're gonna take this to singles if that happens?
Yes.
Yeah, right. 'Cause
I
it's-
actually think I might buy it. Memory Snow actually sounds pretty disgusting.
I'll probably do the same thing I did with set 1 and set 2 and just kind of gauge the cards that I would need to build a deck and then just do that because like I just pretty much got the cards that I would need to build the decks that I think would be reasonable for E0. So like I might have to do that with Memory Snow too. But then again, like that also like that might not mean I won't be playing like JoJo's when it comes out in English either.
Oh yeah, that's
teams,
coming
right?
out too. Dang.
Granted,
yeah.
like JoJo's is not going to be as good, but like, man, I was supposed to get it in JP, but then I forgot, so then I missed the pre-order for it, and then they announced it in English. So I was just like, oh, all right, I guess this works.
worked out for you in the end. That's another set I have to actually go over because when it wasn't allowed for the North American WGP qualifier, I was just like, you know what? I don't even have to read this set. I'm not even gonna bother. Like, I don't have to worry about like the matchup at all. So just whatever. But
I don't know if you'll really have to worry about it in JP either, because my one friend I was supposed to split with has been playing multiple builds of the deck. Like, I think the most solid list that he's come up with is the one with the gold bar that combos with the level 1 and the level 3. Like, it's the one that like it sends like the specific card to memory to get this 1/0 really big, and then the 3/2 that's like on play. Like, I think it's like neg power, and then I think it's also like last shot Xenon or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Dean was talking about that a lot when it
You
would get
just
spoiled.
you just like neg so much power on your opponent's board. Like, it's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah, you kind of just blow up their board.
It's a good anti-meta set.
yeah, I guess maybe that's where JoJo's will fall, is that like depending on how you gauge the English meta at that point in time, then you can kind of toolbox JoJo's to be like suitable for whatever like you want it to go for. But I mean, that's another set I'll have to look more into. I was just gonna buy it because it's freaking JoJo's, like, gotta commit.
Yeah, anything else you guys want to discuss before we close this out? I think we're kind of getting towards the end here.
I guess one thing I'd throw in is I know at some point like a month or two ago, Bushiroad had mentioned something about like 2 exclusive sets that are going to announce at Worlds. Do we want to make speculations right now?
Ooh, so Magic
I'm
School
actually
Bus?
RuneScape.
Oh,
All right,
man.
outside of the dank ones, I think Ruby might be on the list.
That's the one I've been seeing the most on Discord. That's probably the most realistic expectation.
Man,
Yeah, I mean,
In
like,
my heart, I would wish for SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is actually so. I hear that like the guy who owns SpongeBob died, and they've been like just like making tons of garbage now. So like SpongeBob could actually happen.
yeah, I guess the other thing to mention though is it's Bushiroad. Like, anything can happen. Like they could literally bring out anything,
It's gonna be
and
Code Lyoko.
you would
Code
never expect-
Lyoko. Oh my
Please,
god.
no.
Please. I don't need to remind you that exists.
Oh man,
Yeah.
shout out to Chowder. Oh.
Do you think if they do 2 English exclusives again, I mean, is it going to be some wacky stuff where it's going to be like Card Captain Sakura and then like 6 months later or whatever, like the superior JP version is going to release?
Oh,
Do you think they're going to get some
I-
more anime franchises like that? Or...
I really hope that they don't do that, because like, man, you can't imagine shops and people that pre-order Sakura in English, like whenever the set comes out, and then like literally I think it was like either right before it released or right after it released, then it gets announced in JP, And then whenever they started doing the reveals, it's like, wow, this is like the deck we should have got. I don't know. It just leaves a really bad taste in most people's mouths that I don't know if we want to experience that again.
Yeah, I hope nothing like that really happens again, or at least, even if it's like an exclusive, like a timed exclusive, like we have it for a few months before JP does, something like that. I'm kind of okay with that at this point. But
oh man, they could do like they did it with Attack on Titan that like way earlier on. Like wasn't that the case with like set 1 Attack on Titan?
Yeah, it came out in English like 1 month early, and then it came out in JP afterwards.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man, is it gonna be dank when actually they're gonna announce Batman Ninja the movie 2 and Batman the Ninja movie 2 set?
Oh, dude, that'd be so like if they announced 2 of the same set as the English exclusives, I would feel so robbed. Like, holy moly.
Oh man, is there any other what?
The set is going to be X-Men. You already know.
Yes, thank
yeah, you're
you.
right.
Heck yeah,
X-Men.
dude. Look, I just
Well,
need a Weapon X card.
Look, they did Cardcaptor Soccer. They're going to keep going through the Cartoon Network at the Toonami block. There's what Cardcaptor's on, right?
No, it was on WB Kids, right?
That means we'll get Digimon.
Oh no, Digimon was on
no.
Fox.
I mean, Kirby. We'll get Kirby right back at
Kirby
ya.
was on that.
Sonic X, Spider Riders.
Sonic
F-Zero.
X. Ooh. Wait, F-Zero was on.
Yeah, F-Zero was on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I
Tokyo
can't even
Mew
think
Mew?
of stuff I want. Like I don't even think I'm gonna mention anything.
I need Disgaea 5 and Tenchi Muyo.
Oh man, I have to do this like obligatory. Bushiroad, please give this man Cinderella Girl set 2 in English. I will give so much money to max the deck again. Like please.
Cameron.
Please enable the idle degeneracy, please.
Cameron, I've got you. But there's a stipulation to that.
English exclusive.
Version E.
Look, man,
Please
look,
no.
man.
I hate that shit.
Look, man, if they decide to not release Kome, I'm fine with that. Like that's really the only super duper egregious card, which I can
Dang.
understand. Like if that's the reason they're not wanting to bring it over, that's like understandable. But like you got so many other ways to find stuff in that deck as it is. Like that's like one thing that would really help with Cinderella Girls right now is that you have so many cantrips at level 3, and then if you don't even have that, like if you want one at level, you have that in set 1 with the Yuki. That's just like pay 1, ditch a climax to salvage your climax. So like
I mean,
you just make
if that set
it's not
comes-
as good as Kome, obviously, because Kome's broken. But like,
Yeah, but I mean, if this set comes over unbanned, I don't even think it's gonna like hit, like really make a huge dent into the meta.
yeah, you want to. I think for me, it's like it's probably not even in the top 10, but I'll still play it. Oh man, Bushiroad, please. Oh, actually, even better if the CEO of Bushiroad's listening to this. Shout out to Care Expo last year where they like whenever I was getting an autograph from him and I was like asking him to release CG Set 2 in English, someone at Bushiroad PR, like the Japanese account, thought it was really cute to like take a picture of that and post it on their Twitter. It's pretty spicy.
Nice. All right, I think that's it, right, guys? Any other
Yeah, I
last
think
minute things?
that's pretty good.
All right. Any last shout outs, Cameron?
Oh yeah, of course. Definitely got to shout out the Houston Weiss community. I've been playing here for the last 2 years. We have a lot of really good players here. I mean, especially Riaz. Like Riaz is probably one of the best people to play test with, as him being the former world champion, right? Shout out to my friends in College Station when I was going to university there. It was around 4 years ago I started playing Weiss, and my friend Mark had gotten me into the game, and I'm really grateful that they kind of started me on this journey. And it's really crazy that that's gotten to this point where I'm actually able to go to Worlds, because literally within the last like couple of years I've been trying to take the game a little bit more seriously, and it's just really great to see all of that work pay off. Because you can put in the work and then sometimes things just don't work out right, but in this case the work I put in ended up being worth it. And then I guess in that regard too, shout out to all the people I play against on Discord, especially with the Discord ladder league that's on the card game server. Like playtesting in that regard is really, really critical, I think, especially with learning what kind of mistakes that you're making throughout the game and trying to minimize that. Yeah, and if you guys want to hit me up on both Kit's Discord or the card games Discord, you can hit me up. My name's Kaiser Colts. If you see the Rin Shibuya Discord profile picture, that's probably me. Hopefully you don't get me confused with like the 1 or 2 other people that also have Rin as their Discord profile picture. But you could definitely hit me up. And yeah, I think that's it.
Sweet. Any other last shout outs, Dean or Nico? Okay, like I guess the silence they give me is no.
America. There you go.
America?
No.
All right, great.
No, man, it can't be an ending of a video with like no silence, right? Like,
You're right.
Gotta have that little bit of awkward silence in there.
All right. Oh, really quick, Cameron, is this the first time going to Japan?
actually, yes.
Sweet.
This isn't the first time that I've been abroad because I did have a study abroad trip in college where I went to different countries in Europe. But this is my first time going to Japan, and I really have to start planning for it. I have no idea what I want to do. Like, there's so much.
Don't worry. Are you a drinker?
Oh boy.
Is that a no or a yes? I need to know now. I need to plan who's going to be completely wasted with the rest of us.
Look,
I'm gonna...
man, you can hit me up. You can hit me up. That's all I'll
Okay.
say.
Okay. You're going to be part of the group. All right. Besides that, I guess next time I see you in person, we'll be really wasted in karaoke bars. Other than that, guys, I guess this is the end of this episode. Thanks, Cameron, for taking the time to join us and tell us a little bit about your Houston win. And once again, congratulations. Really hyped to hang out with you in Japan since we missed you in Texas this time. Yeah.
Hopefully y'all's flights don't get canceled to Japan, like knock on wood right now.
Look, I paid a lot of money to go out there, so my flight better not get canceled.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for definitely having me on. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next video later. Before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content, as it does help us grow, and check out some of these social media links below.